Morning, guys. Hope you all had a good weekend. So guys, I'm streaming live on YouTube. So if you want to come and see the full charts, I'm not actually going to stay on for too long this morning because I've got stuff to do, but I wanted to talk you through the trade that I took and just give a little bit of a rundown of what I'm looking for. So yeah, let me know if I have any traders on here. I have been super ill for the last few weeks, so I haven't been very present online, but I'm finally starting to feel a bit better now. Okay, so it's a bit annoying because I usually take my trades off MT5 on my phone, which obviously right now I'm streaming on TikTok. My iPad, didn't check it, it is dead. So I was looking for a setup that was happening just now, and I would have taken this. So I'm going to talk you guys through it. And obviously, if you want to see what I'm talking about on TikTok, just come over to YouTube. I'm live there, and that's where I'm showing the charts. But yeah, let me know if I've got any traders on here. So yeah, this morning I took a trade based off multiple things. So I'm going to talk you guys through that. So recently I've actually started trendline trading as well as just my usual breakout support and resistance. Obviously, if you are new here and you haven't been here before, then you won't know my strategy. But basically, I try to keep things as simple as possible, and I just trade support and resistance breakout using candlestick closures, and also using the higher time frames as confluences as well. So recently, I have been also looking at trendline breakouts as well. So that is the trade that I took this morning. I only used to ever take these trades on the higher time frames, but I was finding you probably only get one a week if you're lucky. But yeah, so I then have started to refine it to look for more opportunities, which I feel like I have, but haven't been doing it long enough to really have too much data on it. So I'm going to just keep journaling and keep, just back testing this concept. So like I said, I'm kind of using it as using it as extra confluence to my usual support and resistance breakout. Right, let me just read some of the comments. Oh, I've got quite a lot of people here. Don't forget to double tap the screen, guys. I would really appreciate the support. I'm running a live later today. Feel free to jump in and give your page a plug. Share strategy. Oh, amazing. Big Ange. What strategy do you trade? Hi Simon. Morning guys. I'm not on here for too long today because I've actually got somewhere to be, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of the trade that I took this morning, why I took it, the setup, the take profit, the stop loss, all of the rest of it. But obviously if you're here on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see the full chart. So if you come over to YouTube, make sure you drop a subscribe as well. Really appreciate the support. But thank you so much for the follows, guys. Okay, so let's just have a little look at gold. So again, if you guys are new here, I trade gold against the US dollar, Forex. I did start trading futures, but at this moment in time, I just didn't know too much about the contracts and the micros. And I think all the terminology was confusing me a little bit. So I've come back over to Forex for now. Gold is my main trade. DJ Taz, J London. Yes, so that is literally what I focus on. I have been recently looking a little bit at NAS 100, but mainly just focusing on gold. So this morning about 6:30, I got into a long position and my TP was 110 pips. It was a good trade. It was like a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. How much you lost, Lewis? Are you talking like in general or today? What's the deal? But yes, so like I said, I usually trade purely just simple price action, breakout, retest, and that is it. But recently, I have been really looking at the trend line breakouts, and I kind of always did that, but on the higher time frames. But I basically just never really, well, not never, but very rarely found the setups. It would take days. So I've started to actually do this on the lower time frames now. So I've been trading on and off now for about 8 years, but I would say the last 2 years, that's when it's been properly focused on. So, even though it's like been 8 years, like there's been a lot of lessons learned in that time. Guys on YouTube, if I've got anyone here, I'm really, really sorry, but my chat isn't loading, so I can't actually see, annoyingly, anyone's chat. Okay, this was a like this bit strange this morning. I have found hasn't been too much volume. Well, still volume, but a bit slower moves compared to usual. But it is a Monday, so we got to go steady. Okay, so let's talk about this. We basically had a trend line coming down, and for me a trend line is at least 2 touch points. So we had a bearish trend line, and basically it did break to the other side. So I was looking, my bias was longs, and I was looking for a potential buy. So the only real issue with this setup that I did this morning was that at the time, the higher time frames, it wasn't really giving me a lot. It could have really gone either way. But when I trade these kind of trades, I do have a much bigger stop loss to give myself room, because the stop loss for me needs to go back on the other side of the trend line. So it was like nearly a 70 pip stop loss. But my TP was 110. So, okay, here we are. We've broken out, and like I said, I was looking for a buy setup, and basically here, if you can see, this was an area of support because of these 2 candles. We had a nice little break above, and then even though this candle didn't push up straight away, I didn't take the buy position straight away, but the fact that it closed small body red outside of the range was a really good indication for me that that it was still going to go up. So I did enter on this trade as it flipped up, and as you can see, my entry was around 3218.80. It did play around for a little bit, so we did go into a bit of drawdown, but nowhere near the the stop loss, and then we get our big push up. Then you can see here, take profit was hit. Sorry guys, I will start reading the comments now. You look really old. Silver, oh god, here we go. Right. Morning, Liam. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. So guys, my YouTube is just Doey Trades, and that's where I'm streaming live with the charts. Tattoo tour. Yeah, no, this isn't a tattoo tour type of live. Which pair? So I trade gold against the US dollar. Ignore. Oh, DJ Taz, thank you so much. You know what? It always makes me feel quite. It just gives me I don't know what the word is, but when I see people who are just clocking on to like really horrible negative comments, yeah, it's yeah, I'm just gonna ignore it, but I'm kind of used to it now. But yeah, thank you so much for the follows, guys. So basically, I nearly entered this next trade. So like I said, this was a take profit. My area of resistance now moved up. It could have been, this was an area of resistance, but also we had a bit of an area of resistance here. On MT5, this looked like a bit of a bigger breakout, but basically it was this candle here that I essentially wanted to take the breakout trade above this resistance. Like I said, we're moving up, we're not going against the trend. But it was the first 30 minutes of the first candle of London open. So you always got to be careful. And at this point, this hadn't closed. So, I wanted to wait for that closure because at that moment in time, it hadn't actually closed. Price was moving really, really slow. It was kind of really playing around. So I came out of that trade. I didn't lose anything. We came out with like a tiny little bit of profit. But I think sometimes again, just from having time in the market, you kind of pick up on things. Like I'm trying to take a breakout trade. We need some volume. So just in this circumstance, because it's literally London open, anything can happen. I came out, which I'm glad I did because I wasn't feeling too confident. But then on this 30-minute breakout, it would have taken me back out at break even now. But, this was a breakout of this zone. It gave us our retest below and then it actually started flipping up. So, I would have taken this probably around, I think I had my original buy stop for like 3,230, and then it's moved up 30 pips. So I always bring stops to break even after 20 pips and then try and ride it up to the next zone, which if this would have continued up, it would have been really, really nice. But it's not to say that it's not going to go up, but at this moment, if I had entered that, I would have been taken out of break even, which would have been fine. Looks like it could still push up. What's the time now? That's a 30-minute. Let's have a little look on the lower time frame. On the lower time frame, it is looking a little bit messy. Okay, I'm just reading the things now. Michael, positively always. Yeah, positive vibes only. So yeah, I'm a funded trader with Alpha Capital Group. I always used to trade my live account, but I've kind of decided now I don't want to trade live until I have quite a big amount in there. So I look at NAS 100, but I mainly just trade gold against the US dollar. Sometimes I do look at currencies, but I don't really scalp on currencies. That's definitely more of the kind of day trades or the swing trades. Trouble is markets are drawing, so sometimes you can have half a dozen. Yeah, I know, and this is the thing, like, it's not about winning or losing. I just have certain rules. My main thing is literally just show up, follow the rules. A lot of the time it protects you, sometimes it doesn't. Like I was doing some back testing last night, no emotion involved, and I took an L, so, I understand that is literally just part of the journey. I don't know any trader that, doesn't go through having losses. So I don't really trade currencies at the moment. Aki, how profitable is it for you? Are you talking about trading or my strategy? What is it that you're talking about? Action figs. Yeah, no, I have heard that, but I personally just trade from zone to zone. Initially, I am just a scalper, so, I always, take partials at 20 pips. Apart from the trade that I did do today, that was, I wanted at least a 1-to-1, and where my stop loss was 70 pips, we were aiming for that next zone. Like I said, I do like trading from zone to zone, so... this here on the 30-minute did end up playing out. We would have probably just gone into a bit of drawdown. It looks like it is wanting to push up. And then on the higher time frames, what are we here? So we got 15 minutes till this 1 hour closes. If this, keeps pushing up, we've got a bit of a breaker structure here. So it's looking quite bullish at the moment. Quite bullish at the moment. I know it really gapped up when the markets opened, so I feel like, a lot of people want it to come back down here, fill the gap, and then buy. But that's not the way that I trade. I literally just trade like simple price action, what I'm seeing at the time. I'm a trader too. Roger, what is it that you trade? Is your average RR 1-to-1? You know what? It changes a lot. How do I zoom out here? On my Alpha Capital Group, I've literally got the account metrics up here. It says my average RR is 2.8. I don't even know. But yeah, it's weird because like my win rate is technically quite low, but I'm in profit. So I think, I'm quite good at managing my losses. How much did you initially invest? Okay, so it's been different. Initially, like, my journey has been a bit wild, in all honesty. I have lost hundreds, probably thousands, I would say, to Forex trading in the early days. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just throwing money into signals. So this was something that I did at the beginning. This is how I heard about it. Then when I actually started learning, I didn't learn anything to do with like the mindset, the psychology. I didn't understand like how much the emotions would play a part into everything. I was just so focused on the strategy and learning that I was just being super ego driven, focusing on purely just making money. Whereas now, that's why I came out of a trade earlier. Even though it's gone my way, my number one priority now is to protect my capital first. So I wouldn't I use Alpha Capital just because like I've just always used them. I liked the guys when I was like looking them up. I've just used them and I've never had an issue, so I've never had a reason to trade with anyone else. So yeah, it's not that anyone else is, they're good, they're bad, whatever. But yeah. Davy Jones, hey, thank you so much for the follows, guys. Flashfire. So I'm funded with 100k and 50k. I'm doing a 10k challenge at the moment as well, but my 100k right now is in slight drawdown, even though it is funded. But I'm doing all right with my 50k at the moment. We've done some withdrawals, so but yeah, I'm always going to try and be really, really transparent with, my social media. Like, I'm never going to sit here and say it's been an easy journey, because it hasn't. I don't believe that it has to be that hard for everyone, because if most of us just dropped our ego, learned from the beginning the right way, then we probably wouldn't be in those places. But in all honesty, like, I have been one of those people where we buy into the get rich quick, the lifestyle, all of that stuff, and it's just not real. So yeah, it was a big lesson that I learned. But morning, Nay. Okay. Okay, we've got some people who are just coming on here to just hate, which is great. The usual stuff for TikTok. One day, Flashfire, got to have the vision, haven't you? But yeah, like I said, guys, it's not been an easy journey. Like, I have blown many accounts. It is part of the journey, but it's just about never giving up and finding ways to manage those emotions, and also just sticking to what works for you. You know, if any of you guys are here are traders, come and join the free Discord. Like, it's all free. It's just a community of traders where we check in with each other. We share things. I mean, there's a lot of people in there who don't trade like me. And in all honesty, like, part of me was, over a couple of weeks ago, I started looking at other strategies because I felt like I was missing out again. And this has happened many times. And then I basically, again, just end up... Oh, Dan! It's Dan! Yeah, it's the ICT guys. They're passionate. Can you trade the news on a swing account? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about a funded account, like trading news? Because I don't really trade news anyway. But yeah, if you have a funded account, a lot of the time you can't trade red folder news. So Marcus, I feel like using ChatGPT to learn the basics is a great idea. What is trading, all of the trading terminology, all of that stuff. But yeah, I feel like you have to watch it in real time to really learn. Trading isn't something that you can just like read in a book, I don't believe. You can get nuggets, but I think you need time in the hot seat. You need time watching it in real time and all that stuff. So, but yeah, prop firm, in terms of trading the news, one of the rules is that you can't open or close a trade within 5 minutes, like 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after red folder news. But yeah, so the Discord, guys, the link is in my bio. You'll see all my links in there. YouTube, Telegram, it's all free. None of it's like charged or anything like that. I'm just sharing my journey. I did post on my Telegram why I actually created the Telegram, so if you want to join the Telegram, go and have a look, because it tells you a little bit about my story and why I'm trying to help people. But yeah, this obviously played out quite nicely, but I think, usually I'm used to London being a lot faster than this. So, it is what it is, but like I said, I think this is why, technically my win rate is a little bit lower, but my losses, I mean, this morning wasn't a loss, but sometimes I will come out saying a small loss. Oh, Nikki, morning. I know, I haven't seen you on here for ages. You don't see a link? Flashfire? There should be a link in my bio on TikTok. That's really strange. I haven't taken it out, so it should be there. If not, just drop me a message and I'll send it to you directly. Morning, Andrew. But yeah, no, I'm actually heading off in like 5 minutes. I just wanted to explain the trade that I took this morning. I wanted to explain why I came out of the trade that I literally went in just before coming onto the live. It has kind of played out, but it is what it is. I'll journal on it. You just got to learn from things. But yeah, this week, I mean, these past 4 weeks, I'm really, really proud of myself because I haven't overtraded. I haven't kind of emotional traded for quite a long time. If I've made a mistake or taken a trade a bit impulsively, like, I have been able to just be like, okay, I'm done, which has been a big achievement for me. Brian, morning. Gentle Giant. Not too sure what to say to that. But yeah, I'm 28. What platform I haven't heard of eToro. I trade on PU Prime. That's kind of like my live trading account now. And I trade on my funded accounts with Alpha Capital Group. Guys, if anyone wants a discount with Alpha Capital, just use my code DOEYFX and you'll get money off if you want to purchase a challenge. Gentle Giant, no, I'm not. Thank you so much for thank you so much for the follows, guys. I forgot to mention, you said you wanted to try new concepts, you should watch the Hourly Candle. Dan, what I was kind of saying was I kind of wanted to try different concepts in the sense of like smart money concept, a bit of ICT and stuff, because I mean you guys talk about it all the time, but for some reason, like, sometimes it works, but I kind of just don't enjoy it. And I think it's really important that, you know, we're not just coming to trade just purely to make money, because again, that promotes emotion and not good emotion as well when it comes to trading. Whereas like this way of trading, I actually enjoy it. Like, I feel like this, you know, I really see my setups, whereas yeah, like it's still massively yeah, I just personally think I have to enjoy it because I keep going backwards and forwards and I just end up going back to the basics. But guys, I actually have to go at 9, so I'll try and answer these comments, but I lost my funded a while ago, but I'm planning to buy one soon. Flashfire, like I said, it is massively, you know, it is massively important that you understand that that is part of the journey. Don't let it affect your confidence. But yeah, just make sure you really knuckle down on risk management. But yeah, Alpha Capital Group is definitely, you know, like I said, it's not that I have tried loads and loads of others. I did get scammed twice, not by the big companies though. It was my fault because I was just like looking for a deal, and then yeah, so I then ended up with Alpha Capital Group, and I've never had any issues. So I've just ended up staying with them. Have you had any... David, so all my payouts have been from Alpha Capital Group, and before that I would have just traded live. Flash by cheeky boy. Do you have any friends? Gentle Giant, I would say, like, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, then maybe just go on to a different app. I don't know, like Tinder or something. Have you got a group? So yeah, I have a free Discord. Anyone who wants to join that, you're more than welcome to. I've just started a Telegram group. So we've got Telegram, Discord, and Telegram, Discord, and YouTube. But yeah, Dan, I'll speak to you in the Discord. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, people do try to overcomplicate trading, but you just have to do what works for you. For me, I like trading breakouts, support and resistance, and trend lines. Like, to me, that's simple. I'm just looking at the candle closures. I'm looking at the story the candle is telling me, using the higher time frames, and that just works for me. Okay, guys, so TFT, they had... Oh, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, I... Ignore all price. Sorry, guys, I am reading your comments. Usually I do stay on these lives for a little bit longer, but I actually have to head off today. So what I'll try and do, I'll be back on Wednesday, and I'll be trading live again and just going through my trades, answering your questions. So yeah, hope to see some of you guys in the Discord. We can have chats there and catch up over there. But yeah, sorry guys, I am gonna have to shoot, otherwise I'm gonna be very late. But safe trading. Remember, protect your capital first, And oh wow, League, it's been a while since I seen you here. But yes, guys, Discord should be in my bio, but if not, then just drop me a message. But yeah, I'll see you later, guys. Okay, perfect. So yeah, sorry guys that I couldn't stay on here with you for too long today. But like I said, we've managed to go through why I took this trade, why I came out this trade, even though it did play out quite nicely. I just wasn't feeling it massively, and even though it did break, it's still moving very slow. But we've got a lot of clean range here, so we probably could see price continue up. And like I said, recently I've been using these trend line breakouts to indicate which way when that reversal starts. So until this trend line here, this bullish trend line here, gets broken, I won't really be looking for any sells. Unless it's A++ setup with, clean range and all the rest of it. But yeah, I have definitely been finding that using these trend lines have been massively helping me with adding that extra confluence. But yeah, I'm going to love and leave you all, and I